It starts when you least expect it. One moment you think you've got everything under control, and the next, something hits you so hard that you can't even breathe properly. Your heart races, your hands tremble, and your mind spirals into 1,000 conflicting thoughts. It's not always a tragedy. Sometimes it's something as simple as a conversation that didn't go your way, a message that shattered your sense of peace, a disappointment that cracked your confidence. It creeps in quietly at first, then roars like a storm, dragging you into a whirlwind you didn't ask for. You try to push it away, pretend it doesn't bother you, but it grows louder, faster, more intense until you can't escape it. You're standing right in the center of emotional chaos, drowning in feelings that threaten to pull you under. You want to scream, you want to run, you want to fix everything instantly, but there's nowhere to run and nothing to fix because the battle isn't outside of you, it's inside. The heart beats faster, not because you're in danger, but because your mind has declared war on itself. Anger, sadness, fear, they fight for control. Each one screams to be heard, each one demands to take the lead. And you, trapped in the middle, don't know which one to follow. Sometimes it feels like following any of them will at least offer relief. But deep down, you know that giving in will only make the storm stronger. You're stuck, and when you're stuck, when you don't know how to stop the storm, you start to believe that maybe this is just who you are now. Chaotic, broken, overwhelmed. But what if it isn't? What if the storm isn't a sign of your weakness, but a call for your attention? What if instead of running from it, you could walk into it? No one teaches us how to do that. No one tells us how to stand still when everything inside is shaking. We're told to get over it, to stay strong, to move on, but no one shows us how. And maybe that's why so many people get lost in their own emotions, letting their feelings drive them into decisions they regret. You can't master what you refuse to face, and that's where most people go wrong. They fight the storm or flee from it, but they rarely stop to listen to it. But the storm speaks. It holds messages, buried truths, unresolved wounds. It rages not because it wants to destroy you, but because it wants you to hear what you've been ignoring. There's something deeply terrifying about sitting still in emotional pain. It's uncomfortable, it's raw, it exposes parts of you that you've tried to hide for years. But if you dare to stay, if you dare to face what's rising inside you, something strange begins to happen. The storm starts to shift. The wind doesn't blow as hard. The thunder doesn't seem as loud. It's still there, but you're no longer consumed by it. You start to see it differently. It's not the enemy anymore. It's a part of you asking to be understood. Your emotions are not here to break you. They are signals, messengers, warning lights on the dashboard of your soul. Anger might be telling you that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness might be revealing a loss you never truly grieved. Fear might be warning you about stepping into something unfamiliar. They aren't trying to destroy you. They're trying to wake you up. But most people drown them out with distractions. They turn to noise, to escape, to anything that keeps them from feeling too deeply. They scroll endlessly. They chase temporary highs. They build walls so tall that even they forget what they were trying to protect. And in doing so, they let the storm grow stronger in the background, waiting for the next moment to erupt. But you are not most people. You wouldn't be here if you were. You've already taken the first step by realizing that something has to change. And that change begins when you stop fighting your feelings and start getting curious about them. The storm will test you. It will push you to your edge. But in that pressure, in that raw confrontation with yourself, you will start to uncover a strength you didn't know you had. You will begin to understand that emotional balance is not about silencing the storm. It's about learning to hear it without letting it control you. It's about sitting in the middle of your anger and still choosing kindness. It's about feeling the weight of your sadness and still getting back up. It's about trembling in fear and still moving forward. Balance doesn't mean you never feel deeply. It means you don't get lost in what you feel. It means you can hold space for every emotion without being crushed by any of them. That's the work. That's the real mastery. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's hard, but it's possible. And the more you practice, the more you'll realize that you are not the storm. You are the sky holding the storm. The storm can rage, but it will pass. The sky remains, you remain, you endure, and slowly you begin to build trust with yourself. You begin to trust that you can handle what comes. You begin to trust that emotions, no matter how overwhelming, are temporary. You begin to trust that peace is not the absence of chaos. It's the calm you carry within it. And when you find that calm, when you learn to sit in the middle of the storm without losing yourself, you unlock a power that can carry you through anything. Because life will never stop throwing storms your way, but you don't have to be shaken by every one of them. You can find balance even in emotional chaos, and that is where your real strength begins. Most people walk through life unaware of the weight they carry. They go through the motions, waking up, working, speaking, and reacting without ever stopping to notice what's really happening inside them. Their emotions control them like invisible strings, pulling them in directions they don't fully understand. They snap in anger, collapse in sadness, drown in anxiety, all without realizing that they're being led by something they never took the time to see. And the truth is, this unconscious way of living is what keeps people trapped in emotional chaos. They aren't choosing their reactions. Their reactions are choosing them. They aren't leading their emotions. Their emotions are leading them. Awareness changes everything. It is the quiet force that separates those who are slaves to their emotions from those who master them. But awareness isn't loud. It doesn't scream for your attention. It's not like the urgent rush of anger or the heavy pull of sadness. It's silent, patient, waiting for you to notice it. Most people never do. They're too busy running from one feeling to the next, too busy drowning in distractions, too busy trying to silence the discomfort rather than face it. They don't realize that the chaos only gets louder when it's ignored. The longer you avoid your feelings, the more power they gain over you, and the further you drift from balance. There is a moment, though, when life forces you to pause. Sometimes it's a crisis, sometimes it's exhaustion, sometimes it's the deep, nagging ache that refuses to go away. And in that moment, you have a chance to wake up, to step back and finally see what's happening inside you. To see the patterns, the triggers, the emotional habits that have silently shaped your life. It's a moment of clarity, but it doesn't arrive gently. It's usually born from pain, from the realization that something has to change. From the undeniable truth that you can't keep reacting the same way, feeling the same way, living the same way. When you start to develop awareness, you begin to notice the emotions as they rise. You catch them as they surface, instead of being consumed by them. You begin to realize that your emotions are visitors, not permanent residents. They arrive, they stay for a while, and then they leave. But when you live without awareness, every emotion feels like a permanent reality. You feel anger and believe you are angry. You feel fear and believe you are fearful. You feel sadness and believe you are broken. But emotions are not who you are. They are simply passing storms in the vast sky of your being. The power of awareness is that it creates space, space between what happens to you and how you respond. Without that space, you react automatically. You lash out, you shut down, you spiral. But when you build awareness, even if it's just for a second, you gain the ability to pause. In that pause, you can observe your feelings instead of drowning in them. You can see that the anger is rising, but you don't have to act on it. You can feel the sadness pressing on your chest, but you don't have to collapse under its weight. You can notice the fear gripping you, but you don't have to surrender to it. This is where the shift begins. You realize you are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are the one witnessing them. You are the observer, and the more you practice this, the stronger that observer becomes. You stop identifying with every emotional wave that passes through you. You stop letting your feelings drag you into places you don't want to go. You develop emotional distance, not to detach, not to numb, but to see clearly. It's not easy. The pull of old habits is strong. Sometimes you will still find yourself caught in automatic reactions. Sometimes you will still fall back into emotional loops that feel impossible to break. But awareness grows with attention. The more you choose to notice, the more you choose to step back, the more power you take away from your triggers. You start to see the patterns. You realize that certain situations, certain words, certain memories spark intense emotions within you. And instead of reacting blindly, you begin to question why. You begin to trace the emotion back to its source. You start to see that what angers you today is connected to a wound from yesterday. You start to understand that what terrifies you now is tied to a story you've been telling yourself for years. You begin to see the tangled web of your emotional life, and with each layer you uncover, you loosen its grip on you. But awareness is not a one-time event. It is a discipline. It is the practice of returning to yourself again and again, even when it's uncomfortable. It's the willingness to sit with what you feel without rushing to fix it, avoid it, or bury it. It's about learning to watch your emotions rise and fall like waves, knowing that you are the shore, steady and unmoving. It's about slowing down enough to catch the moment when your heart starts to race, when your jaw tightens, when your breath shortens, when your body begins to signal that a storm is building. In that moment, you can choose not to be swept away. Most people never reach this place. They continue to live at the mercy of their emotions, repeating the same patterns, feeling trapped by the same pain. But you don't have to. You can build the kind of awareness that frees you, the kind that gives you choice, the kind that allows you to feel deeply without being ruled by what you feel. It's not that the emotional storms will stop coming. They won't. Life will always challenge you. People will still disappoint you. Fear will still knock on your door. Sadness will still find you in quiet moments. But with awareness, you are no longer helpless in the face of those storms. You know they will come, but you also know they will pass. You know that you can stand in the middle of them without collapsing. Awareness doesn't erase the chaos, but it brings clarity within it. It allows you to move through life with your eyes open. It allows you to see yourself honestly. And in seeing yourself honestly, you begin to regain control. You begin to make different choices. You begin to create space where there was once only reaction. And in that space, balance begins to grow. The kind of balance that can hold you steady, even when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. The kind of balance that no one can give you, but no one can take from you either. It is yours to build, yours to protect, yours to live. There is a moment that changes everything. It's small, almost invisible, but it holds the weight of your future. It's the moment between what happens to you and how you respond. Most people miss it. They are so quick to react, so deeply entangled in their emotions, that they don't even realize they have a choice. They believe that if someone makes them angry, they must explode. If life disappoints them, they must collapse. If fear grips them, they must retreat. They are trapped in a cycle of reaction, a cycle that keeps them stuck in the same emotional chaos over and over again. They don't see the space, they don't see the door that could lead them out, but the space is there, always waiting to be noticed. In that space lies your power. In that space, you can choose your response instead of being a prisoner to your automatic reactions. But this choice is not easy. The pull to react is strong, especially when emotions surge like waves crashing inside you. Your body screams to act immediately. Your heart races, your breathing shortens, your muscles tense, and every part of you demands instant release. You want to speak the harsh words. You want to slam the door. You want to run, to hide, to numb, to fight. You feel as though the reaction is the only path available to you. But that's the illusion. The truth is, you have a choice, and that choice lives in the space between the trigger and the response. Most people never slow down enough to find it. But if you can, even for a breath, you can change everything. It begins with awareness, but awareness alone is not enough. Awareness gives you the ability to see the storm, but choice gives you the power to stand in it without being consumed. It is the moment you realize you don't have to obey every emotion that rises. You can feel anger without becoming anger. You can feel fear without becoming fear. You can feel sadness without drowning in it. This is not about suppression. This is not about pretending that your feelings don't exist. It's about ownership. It's about recognizing that your feelings are real, but they don't get to control your life unless you hand them the keys. When someone insults you, you can choose silence instead of retaliation. When a door closes, you can choose patience instead of panic. When fear whispers, you can choose courage instead of retreat. But these choices don't come naturally. They require practice. They require you to slow down when your entire body is screaming to speed up. They require you to sit with discomfort, to hold it, to breathe through it, instead of immediately running from it. It feels unnatural at first. It feels like standing still while a fire burns inside you. But the more you practice choosing your response, the stronger you become. You start to realize that reacting feels good for a moment, but choosing your response feels good for a lifetime. There is a deep power in learning to respond instead of react. Reactions are about survival. Responses are about growth. Reactions come from your past old wounds, old stories, old patterns. Responses come from the present, from who you are choosing to become right now. When you react, you are repeating. When you respond, you are rewriting. You are stepping out of the loop that has trapped you for so long. You are no longer bound by the way you used to be. You are carving a new path. And that path leads to freedom, but it's not an easy path. It's hard to choose your response when everything inside you wants to react. It's hard to choose calm when anger feels like the only honest answer. It's hard to choose patience when frustration is pounding at your door. It's hard to choose courage when fear feels so convincing. But hard does not mean impossible. It simply means you must practice. It means you must be willing to fail, to slip, to try again. Every time you choose your response, you build the muscle of emotional mastery. Every time you pause, every time you breathe, every time you hold yourself back from automatic reaction, you are getting stronger. And slowly, you start to trust yourself. You start to trust that you don't have to explode to release your anger. You don't have to collapse to honor your sadness. You don't have to hide to manage your fear. You begin to trust that you can hold intense emotions without being destroyed by them. You begin to trust that your silence can speak louder than your rage. You begin to trust that patience can be more powerful than aggression. You begin to trust that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. Life will keep testing you. People will say things that sting. Circumstances will break in ways you didn't expect. Plans will fail. Dreams will get delayed. Emotions will surge. And in those moments, you will be tempted to fall back into old patterns. But you don't have to. You can pause. You can notice the space. You can choose, and each time you do, you take another step toward becoming the person you've always wanted to be. Each time you choose your response, you become less of a prisoner to the world around you and more of a leader of your own life. Choosing your response doesn't mean you won't feel the emotion. You will. The wave will still come. The pressure will still build. But you will know that you can ride the wave instead of being crushed by it. You will know that you can feel fully and still choose wisely. And that is where balance lies, not in the absence of emotion, but in the ability to stand steady within it. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Some days you will pause. Some days you won't. Some days you will feel proud of how you responded. Some days you will wish you had done better. That's okay. What matters is that you keep coming back to the space. That you keep remembering you have a choice. That you keep practicing, even when it's hard. Even when you fail. Because every time you choose your response, you are building the life you want to live. You are shaping your character. You are creating your peace. You are finding balance in the middle of the chaos. The storms will come, but you can choose who you become in the storm. The waves will rise, but you can choose how you ride them. The pressure will build, but you can choose how you carry it. That choice is yours. It always has been. It always will be. There comes a point when you realize that finding balance is not about chasing a life without problems. It's not about eliminating the hard moments or avoiding emotional storms. It's about something far deeper. It's about building something within yourself that no one can touch. Something that stays steady even when the world around you is falling apart. People spend so much time trying to control what's outside of them. They try to fix other people, force outcomes, escape challenges, and avoid pain. But life keeps proving over and over that the outside world can never truly be controlled. Plans fail, people leave, situations shift. Emotions rise and fall like the tide, sometimes gentle, sometimes violent, and no matter how tightly you try to hold on, life continues to move the way it always has. The harder you try to grip it, the more it slips through your fingers. But there's something you can control. You can control what you build inside of you. You can build strength that doesn't depend on other people's approval. You can build peace that doesn't collapse when circumstances change. You can build resilience that holds firm no matter how strong the wind blows. You can build a home within yourself that is so steady, so unshakable, that no matter how loud the noise gets outside, you can still hear your own voice. You can still hear your own heartbeat. You can still stand tall even when everything else is falling. This kind of balance is not given to you. It's not something you find by accident. It's something you create brick by brick through every choice you make, through every moment you pause instead of react, through every time you stand back up when life knocks you down. There will always be moments that test you. There will always be days when your emotions feel too heavy to carry, when you feel like giving in, when you wonder if it's even worth trying to stay balanced. But those are the moments that shape you. Those are the moments that build you. Not the easy days, not the calm days, but the days when the storm is so loud you can't hear anything else, and yet you choose to stay grounded anyway. You choose to breathe through the chaos. You choose to stay present, even when your mind wants to run. You choose to hold yourself steady, even when your heart feels like it's breaking. Balance isn't a perfect state where nothing bothers you. It's a commitment to keep coming back to yourself, to keep finding your center, even when you get pulled away. Some days you'll feel steady. Some days you'll feel like you're barely holding on. But even on those days, you're building something. Even when you stumble, even when you fall, you're still moving forward if you choose to get back up. Balance doesn't mean you never fall. It means you always return. It means you don't let the fall become the end of the story. People will misunderstand you. They will try to pull you into their storms. They will project their pain onto you. They will bring their chaos into your life. But you can choose not to step into their storm. You can choose to stay in your calm. You can choose to carry your peace with you, no matter where you go. That is your power. That is your freedom. To be able to stand in a room full of anger, fear, sadness, and still hold onto your own inner steadiness. To not let someone else's lack of control pull you out of your own. To be able to walk away from noise without carrying it with you. The deeper you build this balance within yourself, the less you need from the outside world. You stop needing people to validate you. You stop needing every situation to go your way. You stop needing to control everything because you trust yourself to handle what comes. You trust your ability to stay calm, to choose your response, to ride the waves. That trust is unshakable, and it doesn't come from pretending to be strong. It comes from walking through the storms again and again and learning that you can survive them. It comes from sitting in discomfort and realizing it doesn't destroy you. It comes from facing your emotions head on and seeing that they eventually pass. Balance is not something you can borrow. No one can hold it for you. No one can give it to you. It is something you must build and protect. It is the quiet strength that comes from knowing who you are, from knowing that you are more than what happens to you, more than what people think of you, more than the temporary feelings that rise and fall within you. It is the steady ground you stand on when everything else is shaking. You build this balance through daily choices, through the moments you choose patience over anger, through the moments you choose understanding over judgment, through the moments you choose silence over reaction, through the moments you choose to breathe instead of speak, through the moments you choose to keep moving forward, even when fear is whispering in your ear. It's in these small, repeated choices that your balance is built. It's not built in grand moments. It's built in the quiet, ordinary moments that no one else sees. And as you continue to build, you start to notice that the storms still come, but they no longer control you. The waves still rise, but they no longer drown you. The pressure still builds, but you no longer collapse under it. You carry a calm inside you that no one can take away. You carry a strength inside you that doesn't need to shout to be heard. You walk through life with a steady presence, not because life is easy, but because you have learned to find balance in the middle of difficulty. That is where your power lies. That is where your peace begins. Not in chasing a life without chaos, but in becoming someone who can hold steady within it. Someone who can feel deeply, love fully, act wisely, and move forward, even when the path is uncertain. Balance is not the absence of storms. It's the ability to remain grounded within them. It's the ability to trust yourself to handle what comes, to choose your response, to find your center again and again. No one else can walk this path for you. No one else can build this balance inside you. But you can, and the more you choose it, the more you practice it, the stronger it grows. You are capable of carrying this calm. You are capable of building this strength. You are capable of finding this balance. Even in emotional chaos, even when everything feels like it's falling apart, you can hold steady. You can keep moving forward. You can choose who you become. That is your power. That is your freedom. And it has always been within you.